So there I was. Sunrise on the Verde River, and I was walking along with my camera in hand, trying to sneak up on my suspect unaware like a peeping Tom. I was strolling the shores of Big Naughty Beach, hoping to capture the perfect beaver shot. I parted the reeds, and there they were, an entire family of beaver. Papa beaver, mama beaver, little baby beaver. And they were completely unaware I was there. So I took my camera, I zoomed in, I framed the picture just right. Mama beaver was there, sunning herself on a rock, tail all asplay. Zoomed in real close, pushed the shutter down halfway for the autofocus, and just as her belly fur became crystal clear, my camera went beep. And that was it. Papa Beaver slapped the water like that, like a crack of gunfire, and all three beavers dove into the water and began to swim away underwater. I was left to rapid fire as fast as I could with my camera, just click, 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 hoping to get something. And I didn't get the perfect beaver shot. It wasn't even a great beaver shot or a good beaver shot, but I got a decent beaver shot. And so I blew it up and framed it, put it up on the wall with my other nature photos. I call it That Furry, Blurry Brown Lump is a Beaver. It goes good with my other nature photos, you know. Tail of deer as it runs away. Splash where fishes just jumped. Muddy footprints in the, where otter was just standing. And my favorite, quivering branch where bald eagle has just been. No, I got it like that. Don't be jealous. I suppose the good thing about only getting a decent shot was it gives me a reason to continue my quest for the perfect beaver shot, an excuse to spend more time at the river. I read up on it. I learned that beavers are nocturnal creatures, so I got this idea that I would go down to the river under the full moon. That would work, right? Doesn't that make sense? And sure enough, the river was beautiful. I mean, just glowing silver under the moonlight and stuff as it meanders all mysterious and serpentine through our city, filling our heads with dreams while we sleep and stuff. The only problem is the beavers pretty much hang on the banks, which are lined with trees, which cast pretty good shade under the moonlight. And so I just stood there and not seeing anything. And every now and then when I'd move, crack, that tail would slap all the beavers. It sounded like there were cannonballs just exploding up and down the river all night long. Quite frankly, it scared the hell out of me. I don't think I will ever do that again. But any reason to go down to the river is a good reason, Even if I don't see the beavers or I scare them off before I get a good photo, you can get pictures of all the flowers. Right now, with all the rain, it is just gorgeous. I mean, there's sunflowers, a bunch of other yellow flowers I don't know the names of. We got the scarlet creepers, the little morning glories and 4 o'clocks. The blue flowers are going off. We got the purple asters. We got another little purple flower called the fleas-bane daisy. Isn't that a great name? Fleas-bane daisy. We got the datura, those big, beautiful white trumpets that just kind of burn as soon as the sun's gone up for a while. And we got all the pollinators, I mean, there's butterflies, blue butterflies, orange, yellow, white butterflies everywhere. There's the bees, the big black and yellow bumblebees, the carpenter bees, the honey bees. There's June bugs. There's beetles. I got, beetles in the datura flowers sometimes. Pollinators, flowers and pollinators. So when I fail in my quest to get the perfect beaver shot, I settle for pictures of floral sex. And it's wonderful because the river is lined with flowers and feathers and fine things. There have been so many times I rounded the corner of the river hoping to sneak up on the beaver, and what I see instead is a great blue heron, or a little blue heron, or a cormorant. I've seen bald eagles on this river repeatedly. It's just a wonderful thing, you know? Like that day when my autofocus scared away the beavers, there was this raven way up high in a tree watching me, going, caw, caw, caw. And I could tell, because anybody who lives in the Verde Valley, you know, we're familiar with ravens, and he was mocking me. No, there was no doubt about it. He was laughing at me, not with me. So I shook my fist in rage, curses, blackbird, and that'll teach him. And sure enough, he flew away, but as he flew away, a single feather fell from his breast, just fluttering down to the river. And I began circling underneath it, like a shortstop in the 9th inning of the World Series. I was determined to catch that thing. And it's fluttering this way, and it fluttered, and I lunged, and I grabbed it. And then I had a feather. So I went to my dashboard, because that's what I do with my feathers. I stick them on my dashboard. At any given time, I've got tanagers and orioles. I mean, we get the western tanagers out here. We get the summer tanagers, which are like little flying red roses, yellow-headed blackbirds. All these cool feathers you can find. Don't try this at home. It turns out that picking up feathers you find on the ground is a violation of the Migratory Bird Act, and it's a federal felony. So what I do is I keep a little bag so in case I go to a national monument, I can stuff them all in, and when I get my dashboard is really full of feathers, I turn them into cat toys before I can get a life sentence or anything. So there was this one day, I was in that little red rock down to the, over there, and I'm getting some gas and a sports page and a cup of coffee and stuff, And I hear that, and I'm standing in line at the cash register, and I hear this voice behind me that goes, "Oh, I see all your feathers on your dashboard, I love them." And I turned around, and it was this beautiful woman. She had this red curly hair that went every which way like fire. She had this cool blue eyes like glacial eyes. She had the hippie gypsy clothing that, when she moved here and there, it revealed just little bits of scandalous tattoos, My heart's just going flutter, flutter, flutter. And she goes, "Where do you find them?" And so I told her about, Page Springs, McNaughty Beach, the Tapco put in, that there's all these places because the river is the best place to find feathers, although it is a felony. But those are the kind of places that I go. And she goes, "Oh, I've been looking for a feather for the longest time." And I'm like, "Well, if you want, you can have one of mine. I just turn them into cat toys, She goes, "Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I have been asking the Earth Mother for the longest time for a feather." Well, I've never been called an Earth Mother before, but I can live with that, So she comes to my car, and I open the door, and she kind of leans her fine feminine form in, and her clothes shift, and I can see different parts of different scandalous tattoos. It's all working for me, And she starts to hold her hand over each feather, one by one. I'm like, "What are you doing?" She goes, "I'm sensing their auras." Okay, I can still roll with that, Then she's going over this one and over that one, She goes over the oriole and the tanager and the owl and the hawk and the turkey. Turkeys are crazy. I find feathers in Sycamore Canyon. I found a turkey feather in Long Canyon. I found another one on Thunder Mountain, but I've never actually seen a turkey in Sedona or the Verde Valley. My friends saw one once. They saw a turkey in a roundabout being chased out by the police. I thought, well, that makes sense. All the turkeys are in the roundabout. So she's putting her hand over each one, and then she had a couple favorites, and she just did those. And she reached out and she plucked this beautiful bronze feather that kind of had these white and black highlights and stuff. She goes, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." And I'm like, "Oh, you're welcome, that's fine." She goes, "I'm building a wand." I didn't have the heart to tell her it was the turkey feather. So now I'm a little worried because a little bit of time's passed, and I have this image of her wandering the waterways of the Verde Valley, all those seeking vengeance. She may even be in the audience right now with her turkey feather wand, waiting her chance, going to turn me into a frog or something. But being a turkey feather wand, that spell's going to be miscast. I could be turned into a javelina or a three-legged giraffe or, heaven forbid, a platypus. So, thanks for listening to my silly story. all, how many people out there have seen a river otter in the Verde River? All right. How many of y'all know someone who's seen an otter? How many of y'all are just happy to know that there's otters frolicking out there doing cute mammal things? See, here's the thing. I do a lot of writing, I do a lot of stuff, but I'm probably best known as an environmental writer. And in the last decade and a half, 2 decades, it seems like the fashion among environmental writers is to predict the oncoming apocalypse, you know? And it's not like every time I look out my door or window, there isn't enough apocalypse. Like, they're predicting more. It's going to come on waves, and eventually they'll be right. But I would like y'all to know that in the 1960s, otters went extinct in Arizona. Completely gone. In the 1980s, they went to the Sonoran Desert Museum, and they brought in 50 Cajun cousins from Louisiana, and they reintroduced otters to the Verde Valley. It's one of the more successful programs out there. So instead of talking about the apocalypse, I'd like to talk about the things we can do to make a difference, the things we have done to make a difference, the things we will do in the future that will make a difference right here in the Verde Valley. And for that, I would like to thank all of you for being here tonight and showing your support for the Verde Valley. So thank you very much.
All right, let's hear it from Gary Every.